What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 20 in your Perseverance Under Pressure podcast. Today we are going to talk about addiction. Episode 20, addiction. Now, addiction does not just mean addicted to drugs or alcohol, right? Addiction means addicted to anything. So real quick, it's a very interesting definition. Addiction is a chronic, treatable medical disease involving complex interactions among the brain, circuits, genetics, and environment, characterized by compulsive substance use or behaviors despite harmful consequences. It involves the loss of control, cravings, and the inability to stop despite negative health or social impacts. Now, we talk about me, my story, my journey. That's all I can share with you. So, I have never done alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. I've never tried it. So, I can't tell you what addiction is like revolving around substances. Sugar, maybe sugar. Sugar is definitely addictive, and I have a sweet tooth. But I can tell you addictive behaviors, okay? And I'm going to bring you back to I can't say she's my first real girlfriend, but my first girlfriend as a professional wrestler. And she was very integral in my growth of helping me grow as a man, moving out of my parents' house, moving from Massachusetts to Connecticut, being able to learn how to live on my own and pay bills, set up accounts, all of that stuff that gave me anxiety, honestly, at the time. Because it was like, oh, this is the real world. I have no idea how to do this, and I wouldn't have done this by myself. And she was very integral in my journey. And we recently actually just reconnected on Facebook, checking in and seeing how life has been after 20 years almost. So, during our time together, I was in the beginning of my wrestling phase. I must have been, 21, 22. I think I moved out when I was 21. Maybe right when I turned 22, I moved out. So I was about 21 to 22 when we were dating. And remember from other episodes before, I was shy, I was introverted, I couldn't talk to girls, I didn't lose my virginity until I was almost 21, and so at this point in time, 21, 22, not only was I getting hooked on the wrestling drug, I was getting addicted to the attention. I was getting addicted to the gym, changing my body, putting in time and effort, really trying to develop more muscles, trying to get more of the wrestler look. And I never had that. So now I was getting more attention from women, girls, maybe girls at the time. And it was addictive. It was something that made me feel good. It was like a dopamine hit. It was something that not only addictive, but a fear of missing out on, because I hadn't had these experiences. So here I was with my girlfriend, and she was helping me in life. She was supportive, helped get me a job as a personal trainer down there. And so in those moments back in time, I had a lot of back and forth thoughts. Like, it felt like I loved her, I was grateful for her, But then I was also wanting attention from other women. I was wanting attention and wanting to feed into it. I wanted to be in a relationship, but I didn't want to be in a relationship. I wanted the ability to be a player, I guess. I wanted to have these experiences and be able to do what you want when you want. And so there was this duality. And I can understand for people that are addicted to substances where they love their family, but they're so addicted to the feeling that they get with drugs or alcohol that they hurt their family. They lie to them, they steal from them, because the addiction is so much more strong and potent. It pulls them, and again, at their own health, consequences, whatever it is. They make the bad choices over and over again for the good feeling of that addiction. And it's a very challenging thing to move through. I'm not going to lie. It took me most of my wrestling career to figure out these self-sabotaging behaviors. It took me most of my wrestling career to figure out that I was addicted, in fact, to the attention. I liked how it made me feel. And it was ego. It wasn't authentic. It wasn't from my authentic self, because at that time, Christian Frost was not my authentic self. I had no idea who Chris was. I knew Chris as the shy, introverted kid who was always angry, always upset, always had headaches, couldn't talk to girls. I didn't want to be Chris. I wanted to be this persona. I was able to be Christian Frost. I was able to wear the mask, and it felt like the mask got me more attention. The mask gave me more confidence, and it became addictive. I wanted to wear the mask all the time, not just in the wrestling ring. I wanted to be Christian Frost at the gym, at work, at home. It was somebody that I was shifting into, where we kind of pushed Chris aside and just let him be. Like, hey, I don't want to be Chris. Chris didn't get the attention. Chris didn't get the girls. Chris didn't get the opportunities. Christian Frost did. So I wanted to be Christian Frost. I wanted the girlfriend, but I wanted the freedom to flirt. I wanted the freedom to experiment and go have other experiences as the time came. Now, did I cheat on my girlfriend? Not physically. Flirtatiously, yes. I entertained other conversations, and it was a lot from the wrestling world, because that's where I was getting attention from, was the girls in other cities and other promotions and wrestling. It wasn't really at the gym. It was when I was in my character as Christian Frost and dancing around the ring half naked, oiled up, and putting on a show and putting that persona out there. It's like the OnlyFans for males, right? The exotic one, Christian Frost. But it felt good until it didn't. It felt good. It felt freeing until the role was reversed. So we ended up breaking up. I knew it wasn't going to work out. I was in the mindset I was in. It felt too much of a prison for me. It wasn't something that I wanted long term. And she had a lot of trauma in her own relationships and her own childhood growing up and other things. And so she ended up moving down to Florida with her family. And I ended up getting my own apartment, which she still helped me get my own place, because that was my first true living by myself. I moved from my parents in with her, which helped me, and then she still, after our breakup, helped me learn how to get my own place. I have nothing but love and appreciation for her. And after the fact, when I did start dating another woman that I had worked with at the gym, she was the one who cheated on me. So while I had my first girlfriend that I moved to Connecticut with, she had her own trauma, she had her own insecurities, a lot of her own jealousies, but was very supportive, was very understanding on certain things, and helpful, and again, just supportive. And I wasn't satisfied because I was being pulled in other directions due to addiction, wanting the attention, addicted to that feeling. So at my own discretion, lack of discretion, I can't remember, I can't think of the word, but I self-sabotaged because I couldn't stop talking. I couldn't stop feeling like I wanted that high. So then when I was with my next girlfriend, I was happy. I was much more okay. I'm a little bit older. I'm more focused. I'm building my career now. I'm in a different phase of my life, and I'm really trying to make it to WWE. I'm no longer now trying to just entertain and go out and wrestle for fun and go out to eat after with the boys. Now I'm trying to make something of it. Now I'm trying to, 23, 24, now I'm trying to get a call. And I don't know if it was a neglect in our relationship, but I know she had trauma. She had been married and divorced, and she had a lot of her own insecurities, issues, and other stuff as well. And she started stepping out on the relationship. And she physically and emotionally cheated on me. So where I was maybe emotionally cheating on my first girlfriend, I never physically cheated. But now I had to feel the emotional cheating, and I got hit with the physical cheating, which was a major slap in the face, kicking the balls all at the same time. Not fun at all, but exactly what I needed to be having this conversation here with you. It was exactly what I needed to set my course into Buddhism, Taoism, and understanding myself, looking at the authentic self versus the mask, versus the ego that I had been wearing since playing Christian Frost. 17, 18 to 24 is a long time. And at that time, I didn't know it. I was more than halfway done my career. I stopped when I was 29. So 24, we're already 6 years in. And yeah. So I had to go through the understanding, the feeling, the exploration of being addicted to the attention, being addicted to that hit, that dopamine. And then it became, I'm getting addicted to the feel of bigger crowds. And when my ex had cheated on me, it was at a point in time where I was really trying to get booked with WWE, and my whole life started to fall apart. And I lost my girlfriend, and I lost my home, and I lost my job at the gym. And then I think there's an episode I talk about this in. But it was through losing all of that and through the ability to dive into myself, take accountability, take ownership of my trauma. They both had their own traumas, but I had my trauma too. So my first ex had hers, and at the time was maybe never focused on it. And I had mine, not even aware. Maybe we both were not aware of the traumas we had gone through, and that we were still carrying, and the attachment to those feelings that we were holding. And then with my second one, who cheated on me, she had her traumas. And it allowed me to get to that realization, like, none of this is about any other person. It's about both of us. So with my first, it wasn't about her. It was about me. And her stuff was about her, not about me. We were triggering each other. And with my second, her stuff was about her. And her cheating on me was not about me. It had nothing to do with me as a bad person, as a bad boyfriend. And the same thing with my first girlfriend. The flirtatious component with other women had nothing to do with her. It had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with me. The addiction that I had to the attention. Not even to the other women. Just the attention that I was getting from other women. And so, addiction is a powerful, powerful drug. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to behavior, substances, mindset, whatever it is. It can ruin your life, or it can derail your life and show you where you derailed, learn from it, get back on track, and then keep going. So addiction, depending on how you overcome it or succumb to it, can be a very powerful, positive tool for your growth. Or it can be the beginning of the end for everything. For your finances, for your relationships, and ultimately for your life. So, think of that. Even addictive behavior, before I end this, addictive behavior, we talk about life. Substance abuse, overdosing, right? Will end your life. Addiction can end your life. But addiction for bad behavior, poor behavior, if you're addicted to the attention from other people, men or women, if you are sleeping around with somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife and they find out and they don't have control and they kill you, it's a negative effect on your life. So, no matter if you're addicted to substances or behavioral patterns, it can have a very negative impact leading up till death. Food for thought, guys and girls. Kind of a heavy episode, I know. I hope my girlfriend I hope my ex-girlfriend ends up seeing this and realizes that whatever she may have thought back in the day had nothing to do with her, had everything to do with me, and I know she's on her journey. She's in a better headspace right now, and she's been doing a lot better in her healing process, which we all have to go through. That is the journey for us. Some of us get there sooner, some of us get there later, and unfortunately, some of us never get there. So, if that's one of you, I send you prayers and blessings. If you're on your journey, I send you prayers and blessings. As always, notification bell, like, subscribe, leave those comments. Thank you for tuning in, guys and girls. Please share this with anybody that you think could benefit from it. And I'll see you in episode 21.